Hold on 1 second, man. Let's take it down to Texas real quick, man. One West for Universal. Let's talk to him.
When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The product of the environment we was raised in. You see, hell is conditioned as cell made by men. The choices that we make, that box is sin. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The product of the environment we was raised in. You see, hell is conditioned as cell made by men. The choices that we make, that box is sin. In this nation, my skin is my sin, a menace to society. Laws made because they fear the greatness inside of it. Crackhead on the corner can sing like Ryan Osley, and we run from the cops like track meets the irony. Cause every nigga in the Olympics straight out the hood, and we get where we come from when it's all good. $1 million slave with survival remorse, that's textbook. Looks divide and conquer, inspire others to work harder for minimum wage. To shine like you won't send a page. Welcome to the rat race. Now you will spend your look down on those can keep your pace. These young bulls is Lazarus, the man in the mirror looking you in the face. You reap what you sow, the fruit will grow from every tree. That's how you know. Friend from fro that set the triangle, pass the time like the rock and give and go. You either build or destroy, make your choice, bro. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The product of the environment we was raised in. You see, hell is conditioned as cell made by men. The choices that we make, that box is sin. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The product of the environment we was raised in. You see, hell is conditioned as cell made by men. The choices that we make, that box is sin. All these atrocities in my isosceles cause animosity when hope is a limited commodity. Rats in the race of opportunity with success rates. It's a low probability. I mean they build a prison before we even leave elementary. And Christianity got our people retarded spiritually. I mean seriously. You're gonna be in heaven with those that committed genocide on your ancestry. I'd rather be in hell where at least you know your enemy. Make it make sense to me. But you got native in your blood and celebrate Thanksgiving. Work you like a Hebrew slave and won't entertain a simple possibility. The Jew is you. Simply, in reality, they call you anti-Semitic. The viscosity of a carbon copy, the shame, originality. The kingdom of heaven is within. We just saw the earth, the children of God. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The product of the environment we was raised in. You see, hell is conditioned as cell made by men. The choices that we make, that box is sin. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The product of the environment we was raised in. You see, hell is conditioned as cell made by men. The choices that we make, that box is sin.
You've been wicked to the Most High's children, man. You've been destructive to the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me tell you something, black man. You got to put on your strength now, man. Put back on your strength and might, black man, because your day is coming. Your day is coming because the Lord is going to bring judgment on this earth. The Lord wants black men to be able to be men again. The Lord wants to stop the white man from killing our babies in the abortion clinics. The Lord wants us to get off the drugs and then raise our families back up to be the men and women of the Lord, man. But there's something in the middle of us right now. What is that? That Christian church, man. Get with me, brother. Joel, the 3rd chapter, 1st verse. Read it loud.
Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles.
Yeah, go ahead.
Prepare war.
Do what?
Prepare war.
You hear what the Lord said? Declare this among the Gentiles, man. Why? Because it don't look like they're going to war now. It look like they in control and in power of everything. But for the prophets of the Lord that know exactly what's going to happen in the earth, we know that it's time to prepare for war.
Hold on 1 second, man. Let's take it down to Texas real quick, man. One West for Universal. Let's talk to him.
When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The product of the environment we was raised in. You see, hell is conditioned as cell made by men. The choices that we make, that box is sin. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The product of the environment we was raised in. You see hell is conditioned to sell made by men. The choices that we make, that box of sin. In this nation, my skin is my sin, a menace to society. Laws made because they fear the greatness inside of it. Crackhead on the corner.
Someone who's a crypto or blood or a drug addict in the street, they don't know anything about the Bible or God. They're cold. Then it's us. In the UPK, we are what? Hot. That's us.
Hot, 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 hot. Straight out of One West. Ooh, I'm too hot. My grandma keep on telling me I need to cool out. Quit to pull the scriptures out, pull the tool out. 'Cause we the home of the truth, my nigga, and you not hot, 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 hot. How many fake groups must get dissed before they really figure out who the Lord is with? I'm about to burn Babylon with these bars I spit. Niggas swearing they won't beef, well let's start some shit. I roll with warriors with swords and sticks, so keep stepping. Without a mind shit, this brotherhood is a weapon. This nation we protecting, heading for Armageddon. Told them niggas no sweat, but these other niggas are sweating. If you can't take the heat, nigga get out the kitchen. Ain't nothing these niggas saying you can find in the scriptures. They stealing our breakdowns and trying to convert a gripper, trying to do the Lord's work, but he fell in love with a stripper. We can't afford to be playing around with the Lord. It's one God, faith and baptism on one accord. If you ain't a hot nigga, you might as well hit the morgue. My niggas gon' stand firm while you niggas fall on your sword. Straight out of One West, ooh, I'm too hot. My grandma keep on telling me I need to cool out. Quit to pull the scriptures out, pull the tool out. 'Cause we the home of the truth, my nigga, and you not hot.
H-O-T-T, what that mean? Gotta spell it out. Home of the priest, got the truth, that's without a doubt. Niggas getting winded, need to breathe, 'cause they chasing clout. What the priest is bringing, not so heavy, gonna break it down. We in your town, boots is on the ground all year round. When the summer, spring, and fall, we prophesying to the clouds, so cry loud. I stay your ass at home, 'cause life is all about war. Don't make me go blasting chrome, and they go to each his own. Nah, to each his own. We taking over the world, bringing the prophets home. And I dare any of you fake niggas to stand in my way. You niggas is gay, you wearing purple panties, you great. Wearing your fringes on socks on the block, talking to cops, trying to make an arrest. Think you on West? We ain't calling you out, that's why no affiliation. We don't fuck with you out, because we and you know this, man. And if it ain't the UPK, then it's bogus, man.
We set a blaze to the street when we prophesy to the wind. You be amazed with deceit, false prophets feeding our kin. We set a fire to them lies and hope. They open their eyes, most niggas wouldn't see the truth, even if it's written on the blind. They peeking out to see the real priest who changed their lives. Commander General YAHANNA, the son that's out here to teach. You niggas done drop your swords, now you thieves like preachers. Looking for another way round and ain't got no discipline. Tainted worse than the water in Southeast Michigan. We aware that you been listening, visiting online. You ain't my bone or my bone, 'cause you ain't got no spine. You weak in the mind, your vision is so filled with your rhyme. And you can keep it 'cause ain't no cowards gonna hold our line. You out here led by individuals, practicing wicked rituals. And you ain't a hot boy 'cause you following what these bitches do.
Straight out of One West, ooh, I'm too hot. My grandma keep on telling me I need to cool out. Quit to pull the scriptures out, pull the tool out. 'Cause we the home of the truth, my nigga, and you not hot, 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 hot. I ain't a hot boy, what do you call that? Hot, 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 and I ain't a hot boy, what do you
No, we go to ground.
Let's take it to the concrete real quick. Let's take it back to the bricks.
You know when they come up.
You know what we do. We represent for our niggas, man. Our niggas, let's go.
Already was born ready, I'm more ready. I'm saying this now, making sure that the morgue ready. Yeah. We got some drop-offs, battle formation, I'm waiting for you to pop off. Right after you make your first move, get your rocks off. Next thing you'll head to the dirt, we are not soft. I took a loss, but nah, I ain't panicking. I be making moves, you staying still like a mannequin. Think you got the force, but shit, I'm feeling like Anakin. Hit the chick with that lightsaber, might save her. Doing moves tight major with light paper. And H-Town on them blades like an ice skater. Yeah. At that One West Passover, sit down, take a seat to the class over. Far from sober, but I ain't puffin' on Doja. Bartender, bring me tequila. Hold the soda, shit. Hold the ice too, flood it like a typhoon. We can get 6 shooters, 10 paces, high noon. We had Player Street, all-star studded like it's all-star weekend with all my brothers. Ain't nobody fucking round with my niggas. You know who I go to ground with, my niggas. You know when they come around, if they wanna clown, then we gun them down for my niggas. Ain't nobody fucking round with my niggas. You know who I go to ground with, my niggas. You know when they come around, if they wanna clown, then we gun them down for my niggas. Ride for my, die for my niggas. Make sure me and the squad solidified. I'm down to ride, go to war like I did the job. You niggas whores, I'm the ball, plus I been the vibe. You can't feel me, unless you sip 100 proof. I got 100 soldiers with me, that's 200 boots. We get to stomping like a Kappa or a Q. But don't mistake me for no rapper, I'm the Jew. The streets cold, so I throw on the cover. You a bitch, don't get mad at me, get mad at your mother. Put my life on the line like I got me another, yeah, shit. It's like I'm on another level here. You second tier, I'm pulling guns, that's on Metal Gear. It's hell out here, but shit, I die heavenly. AK equipped with the drum, it holds 70. Twin revolvers, bucket you ducks like Yosemite. Yeah, I hear a lot of rappers puffing on their enemies. I don't smoke, but I drink they tears like it's Hennessy. Yeah, nigga, but it is what it is. Ain't no nicotine, but I is with the cig. I just had a dream and I did what I did. And Philly bodies dropping every day where I live. So I don't even wanna hear about rappers. Heavy gut punch, knock the air out rappers. Ain't nobody fucking round with my niggas. You know who I go to ground with, my niggas. You know when they come around, if they wanna clown, then we gun them down for my niggas. Ain't nobody fucking round with my niggas. You know who I go to ground with, my niggas. You know when they come around, if they wanna clown, then we gun them down for my niggas. For my niggas. My niggas, alright. Ride for my job, for my cry, for my niggas.
You know what time it is, y'all. I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all, man. This brotherhood is crazy.
Ooh, 27 Club.
All right, gang, let's really nail it this time. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Florida Lee on my top, this a Saints hat. This the third can't be been in, he a J-Cat. Nigga tryna steal the sauce, yeah, I hate that. But I ain't make the rules, I can't change that. New bottle, new wine, yeah, I can't crack. Look, flag on the play, they grabbing face masks. Niggas always saving hoes where your cape at. The only killer that you know without no face tag. Hell yeah, my bitch bad, Proverbs 31, yeah. This is not a drill, I be 30'd up, yeah. He about to crack the sky, you better hurry up. It's all bad when you see us hang that jersey up. It's mad brick, I got the blick with my cover on. He a fed, he a op, got his cover blown. Look, I'm really outside without no scully on. It's 1 West, bitch, I'm on with my brothers on. He got ranked, then he left, he broke another oath. I got the plate, we about to take another zone. They was sleeping on a team, now they comatose. Left his brother out to dry, I guess he wanna fold. Put the oil on his head, that's another soul. I try to tell him we a pro, don't do this shit at home. She unhappy, left her man, she a 304. He try to justify that shit, he broke the penal code. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Gotta watch these niggas, they be COINTEL. Lil' bro ain't never killed nobody, but I know he will. It's on me, yeah, where I go, yeah, that's the holy seal. My niggas itching when it's up, you better not touch a chair. Ooh, I'm with the extra, that's off the back. He ain't loyal to his brothers, how you follow that? She either working with her hands or she off her bag. Broke bitches, yeah, they done that, give me a heart attack. You see the banner, but my head, I'm a part of that. These niggas cowards, pussies, we don't want no parts in that. They let our warrior out of prison, he ain't going back. And don't be speaking on the truth, cause we with all of that. Look, before they started dissing, they was fans first. You will never catch me digging in no man purse. Really put my brick in, that's why my hands hurt. And don't be speaking bullshit that make my head hurt. Look, I dinner burnt my fingers from the Michael Drake. For the brotherhood, I dinner threw my life away. I never see them, tell them come out from their hiding place. We can't do it, we told them we gon' find a way. They rather march 1,000 deep, we rather feed the people. They wouldn't put on all black, now he reading Hebrew. UPK the standard if you speak on Hebrew. Don't think they solid, get with them niggas just gon' leave you. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship.
One West, y'all. I'm Shy XL, man. And let me tell you something. We different over here. We big steppers. Let's go.
Go get her, big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get her, big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Yo, what you say? No, we don't play you out your mind. Watch what you say, that type of shit could get you lined. And if you search, then let me tell you what you'll find. The city is mine. Just a mud who became the pick of the litter. Now my name ring bells when you talk heavy hitters. Nice nigga, but don't make me transform like Thriller. Sam Cooke a nigga beat like I was born by the river. Go get her, you piss her, you get off of the shitter. Can't put you in the spotlight, you niggas are with her. Keep an eye open round for any nigga that slither. Cause it ain't no sunshine here like Bill Withers, whoa. Fuck you know about this life I live. How you gon' talk to me like I ain't lose no rib? Like I ain't lose no crib, ain't lose no kid. Ain't sleep in my car and I ain't lose no gig. Shit, I never gave an order that I ain't did. And I ain't never take a fucking thing that I wouldn't give. Always kept it a bill, homie, I ain't fib. And if I had to go sit, then I just do my bid. Yo, my whole team full of steel beams we can't fold. Your whole circle full of some squares you can't roll. That's why we always take it to levels you can't go. Talk shit, but you can see me with these hands though. If looks to kill like Cyclops, these niggas wanna see me in Pine Box. No, not on my watch. Got a better chance to rewind clocks when you quit, nigga, when time stops, bitch. Go get her, big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get her, big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa.
This flow is award-winning. Torment them, bomb to death, I'm bored with him. Trash him, throw him away with the has-beens. Ice cold with the flow, I'm Alaskan. You was in the fucking jungle in the past tense. I be with the lions, they my friends, Carol Baskin. And like her, they'll never find a body. Tiger stripe tracksuit, feeling like Joe Exotic. Shit, I don't know what it is, but I know I got it. Feeling like Alonzo, surgical with the shotty. All you see is skull and bones, Illuminati. Probably I be the illest nigga to do it. I just talk shit on the beat and they call it music. I just come provide you with heat, remain the coolest. You ain't never been in the street with all the shooters. I was sipping yak with rioters and looters. Gotta keep my boots laced, shoot straight. Run up on you with the loose 8 in a screw face. It's bad out here, my style effortless. 2 hands hugging a Ruger, so affectionate. A lot of suckers don't want war, I'm respecting it. Biggest stepper, snatch your plate, the hood starving. Cause they got beard shoot trades like James Harden. Straight from NY to Philly, we still mobbing.
Go get her, big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get her, big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. 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 Whoa.
Y'all ain't ready yet, man. Here it come right now, prepare yourself. Here comes the boom.
Here come the boom. Look who just stepped in the room. Got soldiers in every direction. As long as they stepping in tune. I be in all black with the groom. Watching Beverly never lie, fall to a doom. Lord, know I'm ready, and I know that you know that her love is deadly, but I am immune. These niggas talking rude to whom? That's a spot, you'll be moving soon, and you'll be leaving shortly. Still walking with them angels, yeah, they still enforce me. Got a whole lot of zeal, I can't get it off me. Plus I'm winning like I got a blue ribbon on me. He ain't one what, bitch, I beg your pardon. See, I knew these niggas like to do that pillow talking, so that's why I bought a Glock to the slumber party. Got it out the dust. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. If it ain't one West, nigga, hush. I don't wanna hear it, keep your tone down. Had a couple complications, but it's on now. So you can kill it, speculation, bitch, I'm thrown down. And if you want a conversation, set his zone down. What he say, I ain't hear him, I done zoned down. Can't walk, this a low mouth. I'm 44, I'm on another level with it. These niggas never listen, so I let the devil get his ass. I try to tell him, I'm a rebel nigga. Better be careful if you ever think I'm stepping in my path. Cause it ain't no game, stay in your lane. Now I'm playing twisted metal with his ass. Got it out the gut. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. Revenge to my main bitch, I think I got a crush. And she know that I got some sick shit inside me. Bitch, you know it's I.S.U.P.K versus everybody. Got the side, move the buttons like he Teddy Riley. Now I race through the track like a Ricky Bobby. Got it out the dust. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. Gotta keep it with me, it's a must. Got it out the dust. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. If it ain't one West, nigga, hot.
You heard what he said. If it ain't one West, nigga, hush. Watch your goddamn mouth, man. We ain't the same. We not the same. We'll never be the same. We react different. We live different. And we're gonna keep on pushing this truth until Yahweh shall return, sucker. And y'all niggas out there, y'all lukewarm. Y'all can never be us. Cause we hot. Burning hot. Let's get it.
All right, mic check, mic check. Mic check. See how we sound. Mic check, mic check. We sound good. All right, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Barakatam to the brothers, Yahweh Shemal Atan Bashem Yahushua. To the sisters, we are the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commanding General YAHANNA. We are not affiliated with any other organization. Israel, pay your tithes. Shout out to Chicago. Shout out to the whole Midwest for another successful and beautiful and exciting fire weekend. You know, for those of us who might not have been able to go, who've been there in the past, I mean, there seems like every year it always, you know, outdoes the last year. So the pictures were glorious to see. Great turnout. Again, the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the sisterhood. You can't really wish for anything more in these hellish times for Blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians than to come together in the unity and spirit of brotherhood. It is a beautiful thing. With that, nosotros somos la escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Comenzamos en 1 West Calle 125th, Harlem, New York. Desde 1969, Salakia, Harlem, Nueva York. Desde 1969, si tú eres hombre hispano, negro o indio nativo, Tú eres Israel, el pueblo, el guiro de Dios. Y con esto, mi gente, nuestro tiempo ha terminado. Yahweh en el nombre de Yahushai, Yahweh en el nombre de Yahushai, los bendiga, hermanos. Yahweh en el nombre de Yahushai, cuide sobre ustedes, hermanos. Shalom, órale. Let's get a shout out to South Dakota. We got Trooper Regaz in the building. We got Trooper Yah Ward. We got the sister Shanae. We got the young man Keto. We got the brother Don from Greensville, South Carolina. We got the newly raised up. Clap it up for the newly raised up Officer 50 in the stock from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. All right. I.S.U.P.K Milwaukee law class. Any questions, comments, or concerns, preferably on topic. If you have anything of interest that's off topic, that's fine. We just like to save those closer towards the end of class. But any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to engage in the chat. Now, last week, I believe we were going into Galatians 3. Discussing, because again, the main controversy that we have to battle outside of the Israelite community, because within the Israelite community, we're all pretty much on the same page on how to understand faith and law. There are some Israelites who do agree to a certain extent that ain't shit you got to do anymore. You ain't got to observe the high holy days. You ain't got to keep the Sabbath. You sure as hell ain't got to pay tithes. But they also believe that Yahushua is not the Messiah. So there's usually going to be, some kind of eyeball discrepancy. You're mainly going to see this with Old Testament Israelites who believe that we are still in the Old Covenant. No matter how many times we demonstrate that, by the time of Jeremiah, it was well established that we had broken that covenant and that we were, kind of cast away as a people. Hence the prophecy of Hosea. And then when that subsequently brought back up by Paul in, I believe, Romans 9, I believe. Which to me, Romans 9, I think that is damn near the icing on the cake. I don't know where people can go after reading that, because again, all these are letters to different areas where schools and brothers were established and gathered. So some of the issues that were going on in Rome, they didn't have to write the same things necessarily to Thessalonica, Philadelphia, Ephesus, Galatia. Again, some of the concepts might overlap, but they all kind of had, different things that Paul was addressing, whether he was congratulating them or whether he was checking. So again, the main demographic that we have to battle with the concept of the law and faith is with Christianity. I don't even think really Islam puts up too much of a fuss about it, because they have a very performative culture as well. The Ramadan, the Hajj, the Kaaba stone, their dress, their eat, the way their diets, the way that they treat their women. That's all demonstrating their faith, which, something that we're constantly talking about. How do you demonstrate what your faith is in Christ? You can't just sit there. It's not something where you're just sitting there in the dark, believing in your heart that he is Lord and King, that he lived and died for the sins of the world, and then you can go back to doing whatever lewd activity you know, that you were up to prior to your little meditative session. We absolutely are on the same page in the respect that you can't just work your way into what Christianity would call heaven, what we would just call, I guess, the favor of the Most High. You know, salvation is to be experienced at the end when Christ returns, when the Most High sets this whole world apart, and in some cases on fire. That's how we're going to know who's saved, and then by what measure. So let me get this up out of here, because that's kind of a blocking right to. So how do you demonstrate your faith? How do you demonstrate that you have faith? A lot of people compare it to how Abraham had faith, being quote unquote the father of the Abrahamic faiths, which there is only one technically. Like Islam, Christianity, they say Judaism, Islam, and Christianity all come from Abraham because of the two main branches of Ishmael and Isaac. Judaism is fabricated by Khazarian converts, so that's just a whole made-up thing. Christianity claims apostolic succession from even the first century apostles after the 12. I believe they say that Peter was the first pope. When that whole timeline, well, I don't want to say the timeline, but the apostolic succession is not definitive either. And then you have Islam going off of Ishmael, which if there ever was a time that Ishmael had actually followed the culture of his father, Abraham, by the time you got Muhammad on the scene, that is completely watered down and exhausted. It's like the brother asks, is it lawful to cook pork for other people if it's your job, even though you don't eat pork, sir? No. If that is your job, if they got you cooking catfish, eel, calamari, snail, crustaceans, other shellfish, or including pork, it's not unlawful. I would pick a different profession though, because it does put you in the realm of potentially being unclean when you may need, because again, you're cooking for other people's culture in those cases. You're not the one that's eating it, so it's unlawful for you to eat. If other people are ordering it and that's your slavery, then that's just part of your job. I would recommend getting a new line of work though. So you got a question, brother? Yeah. Keep that on. Make sure we can hear you in that as well. It'll make you unclean. So let's pull that scripture. Like it is an abomination to you. It's let's get it real quick. right, so we got Leviticus chapter 11. Select, let me open up the whole thing. Looks like they got two main verses. Leviticus chapter 11, verses 7 and 8. So let's get, we got Leviticus, Deuteronomy 14. Deuteronomy chapter 14. They're quoting from verses 3 to 21. All right. We'll just read this down real quick. Let me share these tabs. So now, being unclean in itself is not unlawful also, unless you are anticipating performing the office of a priest. You cannot perform the office as a priest if you are unclean. Meaning you couldn't teach a class, you couldn't hold the Sabbath service, you couldn't anoint a brother coming into the congregation, possibly, that cross-contamination. But like you can be you're unclean after sex. So sex can make you unclean. Being present during the birth of a child can make you unclean. Those are all beautiful things, but they're not unlawful to be unclean of. You just couldn't then go and perform the duties of a priest or officer. So if we go to Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7, and the swine, or it's like, you got it? Following along with us? All right, well, grab a book off the shelf. We like to make sure that everybody can read along. Leviticus 11, chapter 7, Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And Salakia, shout out to Priest and Captain Debar Moth. He's in the chat, and he says, if it's your slave and you have no other choice, you are breaking the law involuntarily. If it's your own business and you are selling pork, then the pork and you are the same filth. And that, kind of the water, for the clarity on that. That definitely is more applicable. If you were to run your own business and you're serving up unclean food, that would be crazy. If you're an Israelite, that would be crazy. That'd be out of pocket. But if that is your slavery, you're not held accountable as such. But again, I would pick a different slavery. I would find a different line of work. Not too many restaurants have, you'd have to damn near work in like an Arab shop, an Arab restaurant. Maybe some of them East Indians. There's a lot of vegan East Indian restaurants. There are some continental cuisine restaurants too that are vegan that would probably be okay. Salad bars, you know what I mean? Or one of those all green places. So Leviticus chapter 11 verse 7, and the swine though you got it? Chapter 11 verse 7 and 8. Make sure you're there with us. You got it? All right. So Leviticus chapter 11 verse 7, and the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Verse 8, of the flesh ye shall not eat, of the flesh shall ye not eat, and the carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. So yeah, you would be on your own if you were to do this on your own volition. You would be breaking that law, coming into contact with it. Trying to find the spot where it says, because if you're coming into contact with a beast that's unclean, like this isn't one of them things where you would be stoned to death over. Well, yeah, I guess it would be who's casting that judgment too, because the Most High don't want us engage with certain even animal carcasses. Like if you had a farm and you had pigs, like you can have pigs on your farm to do what pigs do. You could have llamas on your farm for the wool. You know, just they're not going to be chopped up and put onto the menu. But if one of them were to die in the field, you know, I don't know. Depending on maybe the size of the property, you might be able to just bury it right there if it's far off, just to keep other scavengers, you know, from picking at it. But I think there's a couple disposal options to get rid of the corpse. Burn it, bury it, maybe let another pig eat it. Sounds reasonable. But Deuteronomy chapter 14, starting at verse 7. Well, again, yeah, this just goes into, it's unclean to you. You shall not eat of the flesh nor touch their dead carcass. Good. 14, starting at verse 7. They had opened the topic up at verse 3, but this is just kind of going into the dietary laws in general. But concerning pork, that starts at verse 7. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof, therefore they are unclean to you. Verse 8, and the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean to you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. And again, the only real cause and effect of it that I read is the threat of making you unclean. Now again, if the Most High tells us not to do something, just don't do it. There's no part of your life that's going to be grief-stricken by not eating pork, by not engaging a dead carcass of an unclean animal. I mean, you'd have to go out of your way, damn near, to come into contact with any of this stuff. You'd have to go to a restaurant, order it, or you'd have to go, you know, into the wild, track one down, go to a farm. For the shellfish, you'd have to go into the sea. Again, you can go to a restaurant and order the stuff, jump into the tank at the store, or you'd have to go swimming for it. So again, when we're looking at the laws, I mean it's a whole plethora of what not to do. Not just what to do, but what not to do. And that whole what not to do section of it, that it costs you like literally zero energy to not do something. Just don't touch the shit. It's that simple. Otherwise, you got to go out to the store. You got to go out to the restaurant. You got to go out to the ocean. You got to go out to the field to even come into contact with this stuff. You got to go out of your way to get the drugs, to make the drugs, to go sell the drugs, to go find the prostitute, to go, all this. You got to go out of your way to break the law. Whereas to keep the law, I mean, shit, that's why it's not grievous. It is surprisingly easy. Just a lot of it you're going to find out is preferential. Paying tithes. Paying tithes is the law. Read that in Malachi, read that in Numbers. Paying tithes is the law. And that's as easy, I mean, in this digital era, that's as easy as, pressing a couple buttons online. If you deal with cash, I mean, that's not too, you got to cash your check anyway. I know sometimes that money's burning a hole in your pocket. But that's why we exercise and we stress discipline, focus. So now if we go back into Galatians chapter 3, they're going to give a comparison to Abraham. Let's just start off at Galatians chapter 3, verse 1. O foolish Galatians, who hath bewitched you, that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Jesus Christ hath been evidently set forth crucified among you. I would, I'd attribute that in today's times to the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. That's who's bewitched us. Because we're not obeying the truth. And the law definitely does say you got to believe in truth. There's the truth and it's like let me pull up the scripture. First John chapter 3, verse 18. There we go. Took a while. I thought it was still loading up, maybe. First John chapter 3, verse 18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. So, I mean, that sincerity that everybody wants to talk a good game and, provide you with a nice, healthy, attractive word salad, it's not enough. And again, this goes back to the question of how do you demonstrate your faith? Abraham, I think, is an excellent example of it. Let's pull up Abraham's journey through this. Good. The one that we just read, or where we're going? We're going to pull it up in a second here. So in Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, we're going to start there. Start with Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. And we're also going to get Genesis chapter 22. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. That was the order that he was given. Now, if we jump back to Galatians real quick, I'm just going to skip down to, again, where they just use Abraham as an example. And then they also, this is another point of contention where people want to argue about how anybody can be counted as an Israel, a spiritual Israelite, or part of Abraham's seed, though, anybody who's just got faith. If you got faith like Abraham, if you got faith, period, whatever, you'll be counted as the seed of Abraham. And then, of course, all the families of the nation will be blessed in Abraham, this, that, and the third. So if we go to Galatians chapter 3, verse 6, even as Abraham believed God, and it was counted to him for righteousness. Verse 7, know ye therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham. So they try to use this to say, see, this brings us into the fold. Where again, Romans 9, it's either Romans 9 or Romans 9 or Romans 10 that cuts that whole concept to shreds. We'll get that verse in maybe a little bit, but verse 8, and the scripture foreseeing that God would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, and these shall all nations be blessed. Verse 9, so then they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham. Verse 10 is interesting too. We're just going to read that also. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed is every one that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them. So this is saying by not doing the works of the law is what curses you. So now, so again, we have to understand the concept of the law that's being discussed here. Keeping the law doesn't curse you. It's breaking the law that curses you. There's no punishment for not stealing. I mean, I think that makes sense, right? There's no punishment for not committing adultery. You are not going to be cursed for not engaging in idol worship. There is no curse or punishment that correlates with not dishonoring your father and mother. Good? Say that again? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not, how would I say this? It's not going to say, again, verbatim how I just put that, but then we got the scripture of where there is no law, there is no sin. But again, we can always read, there's a punishment correlated with stealing. There's a punishment with even being disobedient. Like there's punishments according with that too. If you are, and that's going to be at the behest of the brothers that are over you. So Abraham, having led his own kind of almost nation to a certain extent, and Salaki, ringers, if we can turn the ringers off, the what? Abraham led his own kind of army. You know, he had his own land, he had his own men, his own kind of military. Abraham had a military. He was the ruler of his own little thing. So if people disobeyed him, they were subject to his whatever his consideration of punishment was going to be. But again, we can read that there's punishments for breaking certain laws. We can't read that there's punishments for keeping the law. Okay. And then what it's and I think we were getting into Galatians 2 prior, when we were talking about, carrying out the law, the punishments of the law, because again, that is also law. It's not enough to just not steal. You have to have faith in the Most High. You got to have faith in Christ. But again, what is that faith? What is that concept of faith? And every man, they might all have different understandings or, definitions on what that faith means to them, because everybody's got their own personal relationship with God. They have their own personal relationship with Christ because he knows your heart so well. But what did he also say about the heart? That it's deceives among, how does it say? Like the most deceptive. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So yeah, the Most High does know your heart. He knows your carnality. So when you say that you got a personal relationship with Christ and God, and they know your heart, they know your intentions, you didn't mean to violate all those women and children. You didn't mean to. You were just caught up in the moment. You couldn't help yourself. There are laws for people who cross those lines. Laws of punishment and discipline. What to say about if you're caught stealing a man, you get put down. Now we would all agree with that. I think even Christians, you got some like super duper hippie lovey-dovey type of Christians that, no matter who or what you are, what you've done, they just want to cover you in the blood of Jesus and wipe all your sins away so that you can live, a better quality of life and be a productive member of society and, all this jazz. But I'd say the majority of them also understand the practicality of just being done with certain personalities and behaviors. Everybody's acting like God is so tolerant. Like, listen, yeah, he's winked at our ignorance. But again, when you wake up to the truth, and so many people claim to have read the Bible cover to cover, but if they're not following in truth, then indeed that's because they know their course of life would be punishable by death. That's why they fight so hard to absolve the world of its sins, to make them feel better about theirs. That whole unjust steward concept. But again, all this comparison to Abraham and using him as an example, go back to Genesis. Twelve and 1. Now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. Abraham was faithful to God, and I will make thee, verse 2, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Abraham had faith that God would make him a nation and make him great, make his name great, and that he will be blessed if he leaves his father's house and habitation and kindred. Those were going to be the conditions. You can't say that he was just going to make him great without including what else he had ordered him to do to achieve this. Cause and effect. Verse 3, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So that by that criteria, and again, a lot of people want to try to count this as like a free gift. By this criteria that it was just laid out in Genesis 12:3, you would have to bless Abraham to receive that blessing. Kind of an even trade there. Verse 4. So Adam departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. So again, he had faith that the Most High would reward his obedience. Because again, if you look at the word faith, it's not just having an unwavering belief. What's it say about faith is believing in things unseen. Let's see if we can pull up the biblical stance on faith. Substance. There we go. Hebrews 11:1. Hebrews 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So our faith in the Most High, it's a power that in our 3D environment, in the dimension that we're living in, this plane of reality, it's not something that we can put a finger on. We can't see it with our eyes. And I'm not going to get into the whole kind of philosophical jargon of, you got to use your third eye. But faith is the substance of things hoped for. Let's analyze that a little bit. The substance of things hoped for. Hoping that we're right. Hoping that we're, not batshit crazy. Hoping that we're gonna receive that kingdom that's described in the Bible, where our people are freed from our oppressors, where we are the ruling class on earth, given authority to set things right. And again, set things right by the biblical standard. We're not just setting things right because of how we might think or feel about any situation. It's setting things right according to God's prescription, his standard of equality of life. The evidence of things not seen. You know, and that's expressed, again, going back to how would you show? How would you demonstrate it? Abraham being an excellent example. This is how Abraham had demonstrated his faith, following the order that he was given. Because again, that's what I was going to get back to. The definition of faith. It also does mean obedience and fidelity. It's not just believing and having a deep conviction for something. You know, if we keep faith with they say it a lot in anybody that watched the show Game of Thrones. You know, the different houses keeping faith with the other houses that they were pledged to. That's keeping in obedience and loyalty. Not just believing that you know, if I'm nice to you, you'll be nice to me. There's usually something that's got to be done to express your faith. And the way that Abraham, at this point, his name was Abram, when he had first departed, but the way that he had demonstrated his faith was departing, was following the order and leaving his father in that land, in that culture, to follow the Most High. That's how he demonstrated his faith. Another example that they offer is with Genesis chapter 22. Genesis chapter 22, verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. You know, and that's kind of another funny concept too, that whole I am thing. You know, the Most High said that I am the I am, and then Christ said I am, and now we got Abraham saying I am. I wonder how he fits into the whole Trinity. Verse 2, and he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I tell of thee. It's like which I tell thee of. And Abraham, verse 3, and Abraham rose up early in the morning. He got ready at the crack of dawn and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son and clave the wood for the burnt offering and rose up and went into the place of which God had told him. So again, he's being faithful here. He's being obedient and following the orders that he's been given. And it's one of the hardest tasks that a father could get. Oh, I thought you raised your hand. Never mind. Verse 4. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. Verse 5. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. Verse 6. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they both went of them together. Verse 7. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Verse 8. And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. It's like God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. So again, he's got faith that God is going to do right by him. So now, in his mind, he knows that he's about to offer up Isaac. That's the lamb. So he is keeping in obedience with the orders that he's been given. And it's not like the Lord had promised him X, Y, and Z. If you do this thing, but that's the substance of things hoped for. It's a natural reaction to follow the orders of our superiors in hopes of a reward, whether it's just favor, some type of accommodation, something, a novelty, whatever it might be. But keeping in the spirit of obedience, that it goes with that substance of things hoped for, and evidence of things unseen. Again, it's the performance. He is demonstrating his faith. Verse 9, and it came to the place, and they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. Verse 10, and Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. Verse 11, and the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. Verse 12, and he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. Now at this point, he had already had other kids. Ishmael was his firstborn, but Isaac was the only one that was counted into the covenant. So that's the expression that we're getting from thine only son from me. He was the only one that was counted in as the seed into the covenant. Verse 13, and Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. So we see a demonstration by Abraham of his faith. This is in truth and in deed. There's another aspect to it that I want to get to real quick. So give me 1 second to find this verse. So bear with me 1 second. Maybe 1 minute. So I believe we need Hebrews 11 and 19. sure this is the right verse. And this kind of goes into the concept of reincarnation. We are in Hebrews chapter 11 and 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son. Verse 18, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Verse 19, accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. Verse 20, by faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. Verse 21, by faith Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both of the sons of Joseph and worshiped, leaning upon the top of his staff. Verse 22, by faith Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel and gave commandment concerning his bones. So again, their faith came with demonstration and that substance of things to come. Abraham knew, he was confident that the Most High would again be able to raise Isaac in death from the dead, from whence he got him in a previous life. You got a question? Good. 11, Hebrews 11. And we're starting at, for this portion, 17, verse 17. Chapter 11, verse 17. You can read that all the way down to 22. So again, all these brothers demonstrated their faith. How are you going to demonstrate your faith in Jesus? By selling drugs, but then just saying, I believe Jesus died for my sins, and then sin? That's the whole argument that we're having here. Good? Slack, you speak up, please.
How is it possible that killing your son, almost at least, isn't too bad because it was aborted? Is it because it was aborted?
Yeah. So it was to see if he was going to follow an order. If he was going to value the Most High more than his son, or if he was going to be stingy about it and say, no, that's my baby boy, I can't do it. This is my only baby boy that you counted to the promise, to the seed, to the covenant. It's my favorite son. I'm sorry, God, I can't do it. Or knowing that this spirit of Isaac has been here before, can come back again in a new body. So you're comfortable and you're confident that the Most High has that power, that He'd do that for you if you follow His orders. Because that's a tough one. That's a tough call to make. I mean, and again, the world looks at this crazy. Who in their right mind would ever, fix their lips to do such a thing? I completely agree. It's extreme. And especially in this day and age, we need to get back to those extremities. of following our faith, following our God, being that obedient. And right now, the challenge, back at that time too, Abraham wasn't dealing with all this shit. He had a similar world, a little bit different. The same kind of spirits and intentions and unclean spirits. Again, the Bible doesn't talk about demons. It'll use the term unclean spirits. Slakia, shout out to the sister Shemawat. I always butcher your name, sis. Salakia. Shemawya, Salakia. From Lacrosse, the rib of Officer Nathak. Officer Nathak rib. Out there in Lacrosse holding it down. Shalom, sister. Water for joining us. Because he had to go save Lot from Sodom and Gomorrah. And they were doing all types of LGBT alternative lifestyle stuff that we see going on here today. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, obviously we had strong drink back then too, so I'm pretty sure they were drinking it up. There was knowledge of other substances that could produce an effect. When the Bible talks about sorcerers and witchcraft, it kind of touches onto that subject too, because of what they're whipping up. That and anytime they're whipping up a potion, they're looking for an effect. So the world wasn't so insanely different back then. Just main things, technology. That'd have been the main separation to distinguish our time from their time. Pretty much is technology, and and how that fueled the industrial revolution and all that, and things just started ramping up from there. How old, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? 23? Oh, young man. All right, so you might not even. Oh yeah, at this time I'm sure you may have still seen them landlines. Like between landlines, a world where there were at least to us, your kind of average folk, you would have had to have money if you had a portable phone with you. But some of the rich dudes had it in their car and shit like that. But that's not something that we were rolling around with as kids in our mom's fucking Ford Taurus. That wasn't a thing for us. We had, and slack it for the language, slack it. Landlines, these cell phones, this is crazy. And that ramp up from that time, 20 some odd years ago, not even maybe, from landlines to the technology that we have available now, crazy boom. Crazy boom. So, that's the main thing that separates our time from Abraham's time, because he was dealing with a lot of wild stuff in himself. But now, if we were to, some of the main things that would tempt us to the extreme that Abraham was tempted, a lot of it's going to be so dumb. Social media. Give up social media for me. If God gave us that commandment, give up dressing like a hoe for me. Give up wearing your pants off your ass for me. Give up smoking weed for me. It's so accessible. It's so abundant. It's so carefree. It's so socially acceptable. That'd be a hard thing for people to turn down. And then what are we doing this for? So I can make your life better. So I can give you authority and power on the earth. But you got to show me that, you're going to toe the line. Let's just start with not eating unclean foods. That to me, it's a simple thing. But I didn't have, some people got to issue a pork. They can't let that bacon go. As far as the pork products go, bacon was, my favorite one. It does turn out, though, here was something funny. So, give me 1 second. The World Health Organization places bacon and other processed meats in Group 1, meaning there is a strong proof they cause cancer. So a lot of that lunch deli meat that we're eating, that's chopped up, minced up, made into a paste, and then glued back together into this glob that's now sliced up and put on our sandwiches. Hot dogs would fall into this category. Like these are, heavily processed meats. And bacon, pork bacon is a Group 1 carcinogen. And the Lord's been telling us, don't eat bacon, don't eat pork for a very long time. There's a method to the madness. And people got such a problem. Well, it's just food. It's just food. Like, how big of a deal is that? If you can't demonstrate your faith to even just follow the dietary laws like the Maccabees in the book of the Maccabees, you're familiar with that mother and her 7 sons? So like, there's a sister who had 7 boys. I can't remember the name of the king who was in charge at that time over that area, but he was an Edomite, another oppressor looking to celebrate what I believe was his birthday. It could have been just on a random Tuesday that he tried to kick this shit off. But I believe it was for his birthday, and he had commanded everybody because he was ruling over Israelites. And at that time in the Macedonian era, it was illegal for Israelites to profess themselves to be Jews, to carry out their culture, to keep the high holy days, to keep the Sabbath services. It was illegal. It was outlawed. And he was forcing people to eat pork, knowing that that's a direct affront against the Israelite culture. He was forcing people to eat pork. So he took this sister and her 7 sons, 1 second. And now it was their turn to follow his rules, to demonstrate their faith for him. So one by one, he approaches the kids. They all turn him down, pretty much talking shit the whole time. And he kills them. He mutilates them. He tortures them. He tortures them. Cutting off limbs and appendages, boiling them in pots. Like he was pretty serious about eating this pork. But we were just as serious about keeping the faith of our fathers. So all the way down to the youngest boy at the last one. So this young man, he's watching his older brothers getting tortured and mutilated. And it's just him and his mom left. And they're just looking at each other. His mom's sitting there looking at him like, you're my baby boy. I'm sorry, it came to this. I'm so proud of you and all that. And, she's just trying to tell him, be strong. And the young man's like, Ma, you ain't got to worry about it. I ain't doing this shit. Like, we're all going. Like, I just saw this happen to my brother. We're all going. But now in that story, too, she also touches on reincarnation. But then, she takes the same fate as her sons. Pork is such a spiritual weapon against us. We've been battling this for thousands of years. Pork was named specifically twice in the Bible of an animal not to incorporate yourself with. And it has been pushed and pushed and pushed on us. And during the slave era in this country, we were given all the leftover slop and cutlets and the worst leftovers of the cuts of meat to survive on. And a lot of that was pork. And that just became integrated in our way of life. So these brothers demonstrating their faith to the death of them, the same way that Christ demonstrated his faith to the death of him too. How are we going to demonstrate our faith for Jesus? That's the main argument that we're battling here. But Slack, you had a question or a comment?
Yes, sir. My question, honestly, the more I now more so concerned, honestly, that's
What did he say about it? Oh yeah, yeah.
My granny said the eggs won't kill you. You looked at her in her eyes and said, yes, they will.
I wouldn't put it past them if they're putting fentanyl in the eggs. Feeding the chickens fentanyl just to have some fentanyl eggs, you know, for in our omelets. I wouldn't put it past them.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me sad to think about it.
Yeah.
It is just, honestly, like,
As it should. As it should. Our people are under attack in very subtle and clever ways. That's got the rest of the world looking at us like we're fucking crazy. Again, slacking for the language. All these conspiracy theories that we find ourselves going down, these rabbit holes. How deep does it go? At some point, we just got to stop and just look at the practicality of the Bible. And it'll then we ain't got to chase that rabbit no more. We'll just cut it off right there at the front door. Take a step back, observe our culture, and we can let that rabbit go. We ain't got to go there with them no more. We ain't got to follow that shit no more. Because that's going to lead to, you're going to want to do drugs. You're going to want something to try to free your mind of it, that stress that you're going to carry. Trying to chase down those conspiracies and to get to the bottom of it. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. I know where the rabbit's going. Go ahead.
For me, in my head, thinking about it right now, chasing the rabbit is possibly the you know, like I was asleep listening to Genesis last night, and honestly, one of the last things I remember was Adam blaming Eve letting the snake, and kind of going back up the line of,
Right.
This is your consequence. This is your
Right.
consequence. This is your consequence. I was astonished. But I feel like the being able to see both aspects and not taking your own may have been the sin for real. Like weird.
Not taking accountability.
That's what I thought for a while. But because he could have said, "This is my fault for sure." When I seen her doing it, I could have slapped at her hands on my thumb. But no, what I was referring to was like, and you mentioned chasing the rabbit takes you down a hole. You know that maybe that darkness is like being able. For me, I can see how I can operate now through faith, and I can see how I can operate through fear.
Okay.
You know, and I can see how I can thrive in both. I can see that one leads to my destruction also. You know.
Yeah.
I can see how one raises me and my people up, and I can see how one.
Instant gratification, kind of carnal successes. Like there's a life that you could live in as a criminal or as a drug dealer, as a pimp, as a.
My name literally translates back to wizard and sorcerer.
Oh yeah.
Legitimately, it also translates back to Yahweh, Krampus, assassin. It's a servant.
The name that you were given by your parents.
Correct.
Did they know that?
I don't know.
Most of our parents don't. Most of I don't think from my understanding like my government name was just based off of a friend of the family. Now it's in the Bible too, but knowing my parents, I highly doubt that's where they got it from. Same thing with my brother. My brother might have had a biblical influence because his name is in the Bible as well. But it doesn't have some compound existential meaning to it. It's kind of very simple. But most of, you see all these Michaels and Davids and Jonathans and Timothys out here, not knowing where those names come from, Jeremiah's, not knowing their Hebrew roots. They might know that it comes from the Bible, but they don't know. If you ask any Michael out there what Mayaka Allah means, they ain't gonna be able to. Yeah, they're not gonna map that shit out. So and a lot of them, you know, they don't have to. They're not concerned with where that rabbit's going. They're living in the moment. They're cool with the accommodations that this society affords them. The internet, even the line scooters, the junk food, the women, the very loosely, the very loose concept of relationships and sex, and how, you know, just how easy everybody's giving it up. Homosexuality, you can be whatever. I've seen so many weirdos today. It's just, and I don't know if they're just getting younger, if I'm just getting older. I don't remember at such a young age kids going down that path of, you know, I'm sure every generation has experienced kind of that revelation of over-sexualized youth. But to see how, to be so much older now and kind of removed from the childish kind of thinking and aspect. You know, when I was a kid, we didn't know about some of the nuances in adult concepts in the Disney movies that we were watching, in all the animated movies and shows that we grew up with. Growing up now, watching those, you see all the little slick shit that they try to slip in there, all the metaphors and little hints. Now being able to see the kids knowing so much about, again, these adult concepts, and acting on it, and then it being promoted the way it is. Mothers taking their kids. What was that story? There was a mother who took her. No, that was just to the club to yell at the baby daddy who was at the club. I guess instead of taking care of his kid, she got upset, took the kid to the club where he was at, got on the mic, and tried to blast him in front of everybody. But there was this other video of like a grandma celebrating her 50th birthday in a fishnet mesh jumpsuit with that little string bikini thong set up underneath, with her two little toddler age, maybe 2 or 3 or 4-year-old grandsons walking into the party hall with her. And you know, everybody, all the other adults are commending her. You know, you're so beautiful, you're so strong, you're so brave, and you know, you look beautiful. It's so great of you to come out here in such a display of your womanhood, you know, in front of these little children, ass all out, just looking a sloppy mess. I don't remember that when I was a kid. I'm seeing it now as an adult. And it is heartbreaking because, you know, how are those kids gonna view relationships with women going forward? Are they gonna know what kind of virtues to look for in a woman, if any? Is it just gonna be that simple carnal, just fleshly attraction, and then, you know, post nut clarity, you didn't even want to be with that girl, and that girl didn't even really want to be with that boy in the first place. But you knocked one off with each other, and now you're thinking more clear, and it's on to the next one. Now that obsession is over, and you got your appetite satisfied, and now it's on to the next one. That sure as shit ain't demonstrating faith in Christ, and they're all Christians. They're all Christians who do this. That little hoe out there, she got a cross on her neck. They're going to pray in the morning when they get done that they don't have a baby. They're going to pray to God that they did not get pregnant. They're going to pray to God that he did not just catch the clap. Yes. When, if we just, again, following the law, in this case, would have kept in the UPK, we have, and this is biblical also, there's a courting process that we have. Good. Okay. So in the school, this is how to say almost in kind of a rank and order structure. For a brother and sister that are in the school, we would always recommend for any brother or sister who has their eye on somebody who's not in the school to also enforce this concept. So we have a 6-month rule first, where when you come into the school, you are off limits to the opposite sex for 6 months. They can salute you, shalom, Yahweh, or well, from a man to a woman, hey, shalom, sis, Yahweh Shemal, Shem Yahweh. That's as far as that can go. She can reciprocate that salute, and then you sit down for class. Or, at an event, you go your separate ways. Brother, get some work done. The sisters get some work done too. Or, if you're just socializing, whatever. But you're not going to sit there and have a powwow, start talking to each other, getting to know each other, asking each other's numbers, what your Instagram is. You can salute each other, and then you go your separate ways. For 6 months, so that we can purge ourselves of this lived experience, the effects and the influence of this society, who again, very over-sexualized. And it's not just about sex, getting off of pork, getting off of drugs. Some people, cigarettes was a big thing for me. Taking that time to purge yourself of the world, not just of your sexual desires and lust and covetousness for the opposite sex, but all the other recreational ideas that we were having back then too. So for 6 months, you're off limits. There's another 6 months then where if you are interested in a particular brother or sister, you go to the head of that school. So like you might go to Captain DeBar and ask him to go to the head of whatever zone that sister might be from to speak to that camp leader, to see if that sister's available. She might not have her name. So she didn't go through her, 90 days to even get her name, let alone having been in the school for 6 months to even be approached. But now say they have. They would get the go-ahead, they would get the clarity, you would get approval to go approach that sister to see if, she might be interested in courting or, talking, getting to know you. Maybe she's not interested. All right, no sweat. That's how it's supposed to be, all right? You get, I don't want to use the word rejected, but she's just not interested. All right, no sweat. Move on to the next. But now let's say she is, then you would start the courting process for 6 months. And there should not be any physical contact in those 6 months. You should be studying each other, learning about each other. Not just, what's your favorite color? Do you like reading books? What's your favorite movie? But what pisses you off? What's going to get under your skin? Because again, that post-nut clarity, that's real. That is absolutely real. You were all the way up until the point of waking up the next morning after you and her had, completed your one-night stand. And instead of your 6 months courting process, you completed your one-night stand ritual. That next day, you realize, like, really, in real life, her voice is fucking annoying. I don't know if I wouldn't want to have married that in real life. The way she chews her food. I'm going to dedicate myself to that? No. And then, same thing, on her side, dude, his feet really stink. Somebody should tell him about that. It ain't going to be me, though. And she's off to the races. During that 6 month time. And it's not specific. It doesn't have to be, it's got to be at least 6 months. But that courting process can take a year. 90 days. Or no, not 90 days, 9 months. It could be a year and a half. It could be 2 years. But you want to mind how your interactions. You wouldn't slap her at now. And again, Commanding General Yohanna is the leader of this organization. He is the leader. He is the highest ranking man in the nation of Israel, as far as we're concerned. A very honorable and disciplined man. You get the chance to meet him, you'll see how he carries himself. We are all his responsibility. He is like a father to all of us. And again, in the burden of his responsibility for his people. Rank comes with that burden. You are responsible for the lives of the people around you. So that's his daughter. If we were to go to a function, you're not going to slap her ass in front of him. Because you would want to be counted as an honorable man too. And an honorable man isn't going to treat a father's daughter like that in front of him. I've known some women who, in front of their father, blew my mind too, in front of their dads, in front of their brothers, said, sometimes I'm just a whore. Sometimes I just like being a slut. In front of their fathers. I could not believe it. Like, I halfway wanted to punch her in the mouth myself. Because, like, if that was my sister or my daughter, and they came up talking that to me, with that disregard for honor and integrity, like I wanted to slap the shit out of them. But that's their daughter, that's their burden, that's their problem. Commanding General Yohanna has a higher standard and expectation for his kids, his boys and his girls. So the way that you would treat her in front of her brothers, her sisters, her family, her fathers, her uncles, is the same way that you would treat her one-on-one. I wouldn't even, maybe you can hold her by the arm, how you might lock arms or something like that to escort a sister across the street or something like that. That might be, to the extent of where it's going, but you shouldn't be making out with each other. You shouldn't be slow dancing, all cuddled up, grinding, and what do they call it? Dry grinding on each other. Shouldn't be doing none of that. Unless you are ready to spend the rest of your life with that woman, because we do not divorce you. Now, you should carry that same sentiment if you're looking at somebody for a potential partner that's not in the school either. So now, that sister that you had opened the door for, she obviously did not accept the invite. Good.
That's actually what I was
Okay.
I was telling you about 2 years.
Oh, okay. All right. This is a nice guy. A nice guy. Yeah. All right.
But I do have a young lady that I would love to bring to school. All sincerity, I was actually wondering how that process would be. I'm picking up on like how once she's in, that makes sense.
Right.
All sincerity, she's not yet. And I love her. She's very intelligent. She's all sincerity. I want to introduce her and stuff. One, how does the courting process work if she doesn't want to? She seems receptive, very receptive. So, if she doesn't want to,
Then it's at your own risk. You would be kind of left to your own devices. Again, we would always promote take that 6 months with her, get to know her, no physical contact, no intimate. Have a nice, quiet, intimate candlelit dinner with her at a nice restaurant. Don't go to a hotel afterwards, just spending the night. Let's be reasonable about it. You get a hotel with a sister just to spend the night. The chances of you just watching a movie, it's a little that's a lot of pressure to put on oneself, and a lot of temptation in the palm of your hands in those situations. Good.
one of the first I want to mention. I'm quite good at denying my limitations. I don't eat and she looks at me like weird.
It's grandmas. Grandmas like to worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grandmas being grandmas.
I can still operate, you know, if I don't. But I do keep like that time period in which I wasn't eating as much. Now that I'm trying to get back food in my system, you know, my muscles take it instantaneously. And I was telling her, like, this is amazing. This is amazing. Something don't worry, you know. But she ain't gonna hear that yet. She gonna see it though. She gonna see it when we do it. And I'm happy about that.
All right, that's what's up. Yeah, grandmas being grandmas. That never stops. I don't think that's something they outgrow. But yeah, you know, as far as the sister goes, you know, we would always recommend, you know, and especially in this time with you coming into the school too. Well, what I always tell people, you know, be selfish about this. Take that time for you. Don't let anybody else become a distraction. You don't owe nobody any explanations for what you're trying to do. Find your culture and get right with the Most High. Don't go out there battling. Don't go out there. You know, you ain't gotta. If you don't mind me asking, your family, are they? I don't know if you got a big family, local. Are they Christians? Do they go to church? All right, so. And I don't know how often you guys see each other like that, but you know, if you're ever at a dinner event with them or something like that, you ain't got to go messing up the vibes. But you know, you can demonstrate. This would be a perfect time to demonstrate your faith while they're all there gathered at the buffet or something like that, and they see you. And I don't know if you ate, you know, unclean foods, you know, previous, but they start seeing you not messing with that stuff, you know, that's gonna raise some curiosity, and you can just easily just let them know, like, you know, I'm finding out that according to the culture of our people, that's just not something that we do, and it ain't got to be some big blown out discussion, battle, argument. Likely they're gonna turn it into it. And one thing that we've seen a lot of times here is, you know, we don't stop loving our family just because we want to put those old ways behind us and not celebrate the same holidays that they were doing before, birthdays, Thanksgivings, New Year's, and all that. It doesn't mean that we don't love these people anymore. We're just not going to participate in those events and environments anymore. So you're probably not going to see a whole lot of me like how you used to. I'm not coming to these cookouts, these birthdays, and all these pagan holiday, you know, get-togethers. So you're not going to see a whole lot of me like that. But you know, any Tuesday, you know, you guys want to hang out, you know, it might be at class, or if you guys want to grab a coffee or something, you're going to find quite often they're going to turn their backs on you first. Because we're going to, like, I've seen a lot of the arguments of, again, on the topic of love, how that's demonstrating to them that you don't love them anymore by not celebrating their birthday. Now, you can say the same shit back to them. Well, if you love me, why wouldn't you come check out this class? Why wouldn't you come support this? Why are you giving me a damn headache about me not, you know, kicking it with you on your birthday? Good?
I now remember the question earlier.
All right.
It was regarding love and obedience, all sincerity. If I am told to do something that I know isn't right for me by an elder, I'm just not doing it.
If it conflicts with the laws of God, you definitely should not do it. If honor thy father and thy mother. If they give you something to do, if they request something of you, you should do it. If it's lawful. Take out the trash. Son, please, take out the trash. Can you mow the lawn for me? Of course. I got you. you know, especially when they get older, if they become infirm, if they might not be able to get up out of bed or change their clothes or wipe their ass or clean themselves properly, and you're the only one that's around who might be able to do that for them, honor that father and that mother. But if they say, hey, while you're at it, fix me a sandwich, you know, or cook up some bacon, nah. Like I remember, and I pissed her off so bad with this. It's like your mom, if you're listening, I'm gonna share this little story with you. My mom's an Edomite. My mom's white. She watches a lot of our classes, and she supports this school. We've had clothing drives and giveaways. And her little sewing circle in Green Bay, they donated like dozens of hats and mittens and scarves and all that for the winter giveaway. And brothers had helped go up to Green Bay to help her move once with me. There was one time when she had asked me to go buy her a pack of cigarettes. You know, we were at the gas station. She's like, hey, you know, you run in, grab me a pack. I'm like, I can't do that, Mom. And in the moment of it, you know, she was upset by it's such a seemingly innocent thing, just buying a pack of smokes for her. I'm not smoking them, but that's not something that I can do. Now that's kind of similar to what the brother was asking about the restaurant that he works in. You know, is that, am I breaking the law? And Cap had clarified on that, not voluntarily. That's your slavery, though. If I would have done that, what my mom was asking, that would have been me abiding by an unlawful order to God. So that's not something that I could do. But if she needs me to, like when she had asked, you know, about moving, you know, it's any lawful order they give you, you should still, because they're still your parents. Like in America, we've got a lot of concepts, I guess, about you know, now I'm grown, you can't tell me what to do no more. Biblically, that's still your mother and your father. Your father would still outrank you, like in life, not in your house per se. Like he's not going to come over to your house and start telling you what to do, and then you would be expected to, you know, serve on. Well, I would maybe serve on him hand and foot isn't the right way to put it, but you wouldn't be expected to let him run your house while you're there. You know, that's your family now, your wife, your kids, your mortgage, and all that shit. Different dynamics. But again, you're going to see, more than likely, they're going to draw away from you before you would ever draw away from them. So, you know, keep that love. And keep that sincerity. It's unfortunately, they're going to be the ones missing out. Because as crazy as we are on these street corners, screaming at high heaven about all this hoopla and skin tone and other shit that they're never going to understand. I don't care how many YouTube videos most of these people see. They don't know our talking points. They don't know the conversations that we have in private that the rest of them are not privy to. And even though everything that we do is, you know, readily publicly available, but like when we close down the class, and if you and me are sitting there chopping up for a little bit, they're not here listening to the things that we're talking about, the steps that we're taking to bring a better quality of life to Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities, which includes dealing with our people's mental health so that they stop lashing out in violence against anybody. Because we're not supposed to be criminals to anybody. We're not supposed to be selling drugs to anybody. You're not supposed to be unaliving anybody. You're not supposed to be graping anybody. Good?
Say somebody literally in your face is trying to harm you. Gotta get enough.
Where's my jawbone? Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got a Like if I had that on me while I'm carrying, let me yes, absolutely defend yourself, defend your loved ones too. It's these brothers of old, again, Abraham, he was a warlord. He wouldn't have taken that. Hell no. Christ wouldn't have taken that. Hell no. But he also, you know, he wasn't some young thug either that's just gonna lash out for no reason just because somebody disrespects you with words. You can say whatever the hell you want to me about whoever the hell you want in my life. Keep your hands to yourself. There is that distance gap too, though, where if you come into my striking range with hostility, yeah, like I'm gonna consider that. And people should know this about us. So that's why when brothers take pictures of themselves in their bulletproof vests and they expressing that they ready to go for their brothers if harm is coming to look for us, yeah, the world needs to know that we ain't victims. We're not gonna take ain't no turn the other cheek over here. You know, you ain't gonna punk us. We ain't soft. We will stand for this truth. We will stand for each other. But we're not knuckleheads either. We're not gonna go out there strong arm robbing the old ladies. Or some tough guys out there. Where we're not gonna go kicking it off with some big old muscle bound redneck or brother just to try to prove a point. But keep your hands to yourself. Say whatever the hell you want though. Skin is thick. We're fine with that. And most of the shit's over social media anyway. The hell are you gonna do from there? And anytime they confront this in real life, we get a lot of them kissing our boots at the end of the discussion. All nonviolent, despite what the SPL will have to say, or SPLC would have to say about us, being black extremists. What our extremities looks like winter clothing giveaways for the public. Without, and you know, drug dealers do shit like that too. We're not selling crack out the back door either. That's our extreme. Brotherhood, sisterhood. That's our extreme. Non-violence, even to heathens that hate us. That's our extreme. But we are going to be verbal about the so-called white man is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. Well, we are going to be adamant about making that very clear what our stance is and what the Bible says about it. God is a racist by their understanding and standard. He hates white people. That's in the Bible. That's how extreme. That's our extreme. We say it on the street corners. We say it in our lessons. We say it in the classrooms. That's our extreme. It's words. And our actions are community service until we have to defend ourselves. But it scares the hell out of people because it's going to be uncomfortable around the water cooler at work sometimes. Because they might, at work, I don't need to do all this at work. I'm just driving around. That's it. Somebody want to ask me about the shield or something like that, we might have a little dialogue, and I'll tell them, hey, you know, here's our card. You know, come holler at us afterwards. But that's just a time and a place for everything. I'll hold the door open for some heathens if we're going to the same store at the same time. If they hold the door for me, I'll say thank you. I'll say please. I'll respect them and I'll treat them civilly when we're out there. Same thing with my family and our brothers and sisters that are out here that are living a heretical pagan lifestyle and loving it. That goddamn weed and smoke. The cigarette smoke, the vape smoke, the weed smoke, I hate it. I can't stand it. But I'm not going to go try to force feed them scriptures while they're high as hell. They ain't going to want to listen to that shit anyway, guys.
I heard about a scripture that kind of said, a wicked man or evil man
diggeth up evil, and in his lips is a burning fire.
I heard that could be something like ragging on someone.
Harsh words, digging up dirt on somebody's history and their past, and then talking mad shit. That is also a concept of what it's talking about. The scriptures are manifold too, though. So if you look manifold, meaning they could be applied to a number of different things. So that scripture, well, let's pull it up. What is it? Proverbs 27, I believe. 27 and 6. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 27. This will be the last scripture, slack. We're going over time, got slightly off topic, but wanted to give you the floor for a little bit with some of the questions. Let's look at this real quick. I'm messing this up. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 27. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. That absolutely sounds like smoking. The whole illustration sounds like smoking. Now, if you were to open up that chapter and read the other verses around it, Proverbs chapter 16, verse 27. So now in this, it's kind of just kind of a rundown of things you ought not to do. Ways to carry yourself, ways not to carry yourself. Verse 24, pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. You know, the positivity, positive vibes. It's healthy. What's the word? It's attractive. It's almost addictive. That good feeling that you can provide for other people, and the reciprocated good feeling that you get out of doing something nice, or saying something nice, making somebody's day, putting a smile on somebody's face. What that even does for you. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and help to the bones. This chapter in Proverbs is just kind of some wise sayings. What you ought to do, what you ought not to do, and then you go to verse 26. He that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. That not just a work ethic, but that drive that can, if you're only scheduled for 40 hours a week, but you need more than what that's affording you, and you're working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, because that's your drive, that's what you crave. You're a workhorse. Verse 27, an ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. So you could definitely also look at, find the contrast of that with digging up dirt on somebody's history and their past. And in your lips is heated words. Heated words is coming out of your mouth. Now you're talking shit. You dug up some dirt on them, and now you're talking shit. You could it's a manifold scripture. You could definitely make it applicable to that, because that's also what it sounds like. But it also does sound like somebody just is about to harvest their wheat plant and get it ready to roll up. And it kind of goes along with verse 28, a froward man sowed strife, and a whisperer separated chief friends. Somebody who's just dark and gloomy and depressed and just an unhappy son of a gun You know, they normally, they've got a knack for just causing problems. And a whisperer separated chief friends and gossiping and spreading rumors, trying to mess people's relationships up. You see that at work a lot. In the service industry, especially a lot there too. You know, a lot of factory jobs and warehouse jobs, well, I think a lot of people kind of keep to themselves. But in the service industry, man, it's such a, you know, socially clashing environment that you got all these busybodies and all these noses being stuck into people's business. The jealousy and no, that wasn't this. The attractions, the temptations, it gets, service industry is a whole mess. But yeah, that verse is a manifold verse. And you're going to find a lot of verses like that that could apply. Again, the context of it could be very specific, though. You're going to see verses like that, too, where it sounds like it could be talking about this if it's isolated by itself. But then when you read some of the verses above and below, or even start at the first verse to catch what the topic is going to originally be about, you'll see that specifically this verse is just talking about this topic. And even though it sounds like it could be placed over here too, the context of what it's addressing only applies to, you know, A, B, and C. But then there's normally, you're going to find something that's worded very similar to that's used generally and abroad that can be applied to all the other topics that you may have had in mind. The Bible is crazy. The Bible, when they call this a living Bible, this living word, that is absolutely true. And we see how it is, how we are demonstrating the need for this. And in the UPK, like, it's too late. The word is out. Brothers got the knowledge. They are convicted. They're not letting this shit go. So when you start meeting some of the captains, I don't know how many, like, if you watch any of the videos from like back then, but like Captain Mashak, that is the zeal and the delivery of how he kicks it at camp. Damn, what's the word? I'm gonna have to skip that, but he is an almost intoxicating man in presence to be around. Again, his spirit it's lights up a room, gets everybody riled up. And when he's teaching at camp, I mean, just it's a show. It's something to watch for sure. But they can't cancel us. So what? You take away our internet privileges. We're going to be out there on the streets. Freedom of speech. You're going to have to start breaking constitutional laws to mess with us. And then what are you going to do then? Send us to jail? We're going to raise up brothers in jail. We got brothers in jail right now that graduated Hebrew Academy behind bars. Brothers are convicted. They're staking their lives on this. We're not going to let this go anytime soon. So with that, never forget 9/11. 9/11, the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. I think it's a beautiful occasion that it falls on that infamous day in America's history. We sure as shit ain't gonna ever let them forget, and we're not gonna forget our culture in the process. Join us tomorrow, Captain of 10,000 Debar Amath, Scripture Breakdown class. Contact the school near you for any questions, comments, or concerns in your zone. If there isn't a school near you, raise one. Put the work in. Start one. Let's see, any other? I know there's still some other cookouts coming up before winter hits. I think we got, I don't think we've had the West Coast yet. But stay tuned. It's like I got this whole screen up here. I'm not even on the screen no more. Stay tuned for upcoming events and news. And we will definitely see y'all around the corner. With that, shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Baruch Atam to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Atam Baruch Shem Yahshua to the sisters. We out, man.